All right, guys, we are live. It's episode 288 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Co-host joining me, Greg Cannon's in the house. What's going on, Greg?
Hey, everyone.
Jennifer Seymour's joining us. What's going on, Jen?
Hey, everybody.
And he's the product manager of RCBS, Will Haymeyer. Man, I had to get that one out because we confused him earlier. There we go.
There you go.
On happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Everybody's wearing their green except us. Just Will.
I'm wearing green. That is green.
Geez, she's gonna show the little some people's like, I got a little pin right here. See, it's green. I'm like,
the whole bottom half of my shirt is green.
Literally everybody's wearing green but you, Anthony.
Yeah.
And I'm surrounded by green too. We got some RCBS stuff over there. My beautiful PDC custom chassis up here.
I'm not sure if he's doing it because it's St. Patrick's Day or is it just because he works for RCBS?
Oh, it's the RCBS shirt. I mean,
yeah,
it's got the little logo right there.
That's why we had the RCBS show on St. Patty's Day, because it's green.
Exactly.
And everybody's gonna have to hit. Not only are we're missing ammo on the shelves, toilet paper, hand sanitizer. Hell, you can't even get any meat. But now there's no liquor on the shelves.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I went in to my local liquor store yesterday, and there was not an empty spot on the shelves. They were slam packed full.
Yeah. So. I don't know. Well, I know because I know people are shutting down bars and stuff like that. So it'll get there eventually.
I mean, I've been to the grocery store once or twice a day for the past 5 days, and every time you go, you got to pick a bottle up.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
Got to
be
prepared.
The stockpile.
In South Carolina, starting tomorrow, all restaurants and bars are all closed except for takeout by a mandate from the governor.
Yep, that's the same here. I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern or something like that. But what a good time to have a company like RCBS on when everybody's going crazy trying to find some 9mm, some 223s, your 7.62s, whatever. Everything's pretty much 380s. We can't even keep 380s in stock. You know, if we figured people have moved away from that. Nope, there's still plenty of people with 380s out there. So we're going to talk about a lot about reloading, right? You know, so if this ever happens again, which it never happened in my lifetime to this point, where you're like quarantine for 14 days, nothing's open. I've never seen this before. So you can be one of them dudes just doing this and just kind of like laughing at everybody. I got 20,000 rounds and more.
I've actually seen a lot of people that are like, well, I'm quarantined, I might as well reload. Like a ton of people are reloading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of brass to prep, so if I'm stuck at home, it's going to suck, but I'm going to get it done.
Might as well.
Yeah,
there we go.
I haven't really shot much pistol at all this year, but I might have ordered 1,000 rounds of 40 just so that I have something to do to start loading on that.
There you go. Yeah. All right, guys. If you guys are tuning in here, we appreciate you watching. Questions. If you're watching us on Facebook Live feed on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page, you can just join the conversation there. Get your live questions in. For anything reload related, RCBS related, shooting related, we'll take them, throw them in there. We'll get them out throughout the show. The Shooter's Mindset website, theshootersmindset.com. Keep up with all the Shooter's Mindset needs over there. 2020 sponsorship for the show. We currently don't have any. Working on a couple, though, I think. So let's see how that goes. If you want to sponsor the show, you can always email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com. All right. For those unfamiliar with you, Will, tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of how you got into shooting, and how did you start working with RCBS? How did that come about?
Sure. So a little bit about myself. I've been reloading since I was probably 8 or 9. I can remember back in the day when growing up, started shooting. Started with 22s, moved on to first year rifles at 30-30, and lived about a mile from the closest gun club. And Dad and I'd go there, shoot sporting clays, trap, skeet all the time. And he got to the point where he didn't like loading my own ammo. So he's like, you got to load if you're going to shoot it. So, I mean, from that point on, it was loading 25, 50, 75 rounds of shot shells a week, whatever 30-30 I could shoot. By the time he stopped wanting to buy bullets, we started casting bullets for it. So from there, started shooting a little bit competitively. The NRA Youth Hunter Education Challenge was started that when I was 11. Moved on through that. Shot for the University of Missouri shotgun team for a while. When I was in college, graduated college, started working for Midway USA 08, 09, that time frame. Moved over to Vista 2015 as a product manager handling Champion, Butler Creek, all the Weaver rings and bases, and then came over to senior product manager for RCBS about 2 years ago.
Oh, so you've been around some some giant companies here, and now you landed at RCBS. How are you liking it? I know you've been to SHOT Show recently. We did a video with you. I believe we got that up on the Shooters Mindset YouTube channel. What did we talk about during that video that time at SHOT Show? What was the new stuff?
Which one? At the RCBS? I'm sorry, my son just texted me. I had to read that really quick.
Yeah, we did a video with RCBS, didn't we?
Maybe? Yeah, I did this year, but I don't remember me and you doing one. Did we do one?
I'm sure. I think we did. I mean, if we did, it was probably on some of the new product like the Matchmaster, the Rebel.
I know me and you did one this year, Will. He's talking, and Anthony wasn't there, but I don't remember doing one. I don't know. We did one this year, and it was awesome.
Yeah, there was free beer. There was free beer right before the video. I remember that part.
There we go.
I literally said, "Here, hold my beer."
That's right. That's right.
And then did the video.
I'm sitting here like camera, mic, beer.
No, we did a great video on. Yeah, we did on the Matchmaster, and we did a couple of things this year with all of those. You went down the line with all the new stuff.
Yep.
And Jen, you got some 6GT dies that you're excited about?
I do. Look.
That's hot commodity right now.
I'm super excited.
How much you selling those for? $800 or
what? 50 packs of toilet paper.
All right.
Deal.
Hey.
If you find 50 packs of toilet paper, I would be shocked.
I'm sure there's people with that much.
Yeah, this is true. I better not say that.
Someone's got that stashed away for sure.
What's that?
So I'll be getting that set up very soon on my Summit press.
Excellent.
There we go.
It's a good choice.
If you can tell us a little bit about the history of RCBS, where they kind of got their start, how they made it to where they are today.
Sure. So RCBS started 1943 by a gentleman named Fred Huntington. Fred loved to shoot rock chucks, and because of the war, he couldn't find bullets to do it. So he invented a little tool to make his own bullets called the rock chuck bullet swage.
I always wondered where that name came from.
Yep. So it was, I mean, we've got a couple of them at the factory in Oroville. Nobody really knows how to put them together because there's no instructions from that far, but it's just really cool to see all the pieces and parts and the different jackets and just that whole product. So, I mean, it started what, 77 years ago now, and been going and growing ever since.
Oh. Yeah, my skill level, like I only reloaded for a couple seasons, man, and I did so on a press that a lot of people told me to stay away from, right? But I got it. It was cheap. It was like a hand-me-down from a buddy. He got tired of it. I was like, I'll take it on. But I tell you what, I almost trusted and you know, everybody reloads their own rounds. Like, oh man, I hope this first batch goes off fine. You know what I mean? But man, I never trusted ammo more than my own. You know what I mean? I've seen factory stuff go down. I've seen premium grade ammunition screw up. You know, it's eventually, it happens. You know what I mean? But man, I don't ever remember that season or that 2 seasons having an issue with any of my 9mm.
Nice.
And it was on one boom, 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 boom. Every stage I had to look, I had to pay attention. It wasn't like these fancy auto drives and all this stuff that does so many things in one shot, which I love those things. And I'm sure a lot of people own them, but then they have the timers and alarms that go off. I get it. But man, I saw powder drop into that case every time. It took me, I don't know, 2 hours to get like 200 rounds out. It was silly. Sure. But man, that stuff worked great.
Yeah, that's that's the thing people don't understand. I mean, you can make reloading as complicated as you want, get all those bells and whistles and little things, or you can make reloading really simple. It all depends on kind of what you're looking for and what you're going after. But yeah, there's that that feeling that that ammo that you made is your own and you've touched every little part of it. So if anything went wrong, it's on you. You can't blame anybody else. And
I remember my first match with reloaded ammo. The whole time I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, every time I had an impact, I was so excited. Oh my God, my ammo that I made, it just hit something. Like, not only did I have to shoot it, I had to actually have made the round correctly and not double charged it. Well, you can't really double charge these rifle rounds, but
I get it.
Anyway, it's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always seat the primer a little high, at least with stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then, man, I've borrowed some reload ammo. I've bought reloaded ammo from other folks, and that is the worst feeling. Having someone else's stuff. And I've showed up to matches where I drove 4 or 5 hours away, didn't bring no ammo, brought everything else, left my ammo at home. I'm pulling up to the hotel.
You have forgotten everything at some point.
I open up my trunk. I'm looking in there. I'm like, no, where's the ammo at? Walmart's closed up, right? But back then when Walmart was selling, you couldn't get any white box at the time because it was too late. So I started calling buddies up. He's like, don't worry, bro. I got you. I got some reloads for you. I'm like, yes. And I'm like, oh no. So I shot a whole major. And I had a squib, and it was perfect. It went hand in hand. I shot somebody else's reloads, and I had a squib round, and it was beautiful. And that's what happens.
That's what scared me with reloading is having done pistol. There were a lot of people had squibs, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have a squib.
Well, you pay a lot more attention when you're when it's a lot more of a manual process. My pistol loading, I'm literally this is me loading pistols. But you take the time to notice, oh, this particular round is 2 thou longer than the other. This is a really bad round. Whereas with pistol ammo, it's like, oh, they all fit through the hole. Cool.
Yeah.
They all work in the go gauge. We're good to go with that pistol ammo.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I've seen some of the videos, and Greg, you shared some of the pictures. I know the precision rifle stuff's another ball game when it comes to reloading, though, man. It's just more steps, more prep, more everything.
It's cool though. Like I've learned a lot, like measuring the CBTO, the cartridge base to ogive. I had no clue about any of that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of measurements that you can take just to make sure everything's super consistent. That precision rifle ammo.
Yeah, man. Greg, got anything?
I can't see live. My Facebook is broke, so somebody else is gonna have to look at that.
Okay, hold on. I'm sharing in all the things, and we do have some live. Let me share this one, and I'll go back. Sorry, that's what I was doing. If I look distracted, I was trying to share it in all of the different groups. So we have a couple people saying, hey, Mike Bell. And Kelly Brown says, for the RCBS bullet puller and call it, which one stage press is best?
I mean, I'd recommend using like a Rock Chucker Supreme if you're using the Collet bullet puller. I mean, or any of the O-frame single stage presses. But I mean, you can do pretty much anything you want on the Rock Chucker. We do have the new Rebel coming out into April, which will do everything the Rock Chucker do, just a bigger press, which we can go into in a little bit later. But I mean, the Rock Chucker has been a standard solid press for many years.
By the way, that's the bullet puller is absolutely awesome. It's the best way I've ever found to pull bullets.
Sweet. Mike Bell also has an RCBS question. He says last year he got a Charge Master combo, and then the new Matchmaster version comes out. So what's the difference?
Oh, there's a ton of difference with them. I mean, the biggest difference is that Matchmaster, you can go down to 0.04 of a grain accuracy, which is a kernel of powder for a lot of powders, where the Charge Master 1500 is 1/10 of a grain. Your Matchmaster also has the ability to weigh out in 1/10 of a grain in standard mode. So there's 2 different modes, match and standard. We have an app for the Matchmaster that's available on the App Store and iTunes that will connect the Matchmaster to your phone through Bluetooth. You can go in and adjust all the settings on the app as well as in the unit. So you can fine tune the different powder parameters for the type of powder you're using. So, I mean, you can, I think standard and match mode, usually you're running with the standard preset settings, 25, 35 seconds. you go and adjust all the parameters, you can get that down to 12, 15 seconds to 400ths of a grain. Just takes a little bit of time to get those fine tunes. I know I've already seen quite a few postings on the different social media platforms with people who are like, hey, what are your settings for 4350? And people will share those settings and get people pretty close.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Do we have any more live?
That is all for the live for right now. Y'all give us your live questions.
Yep. Sweet. So, Will, I have a question. RCBS makes all sorts of cool stuff. If you were to pick one RCBS product as your favorite, what would it be?
Right now, I mean, the Matchmaster is probably the coolest one that we have, just from the different technology we have in it. If you'd asked me that question before I launched it, I would say the Summit Press is probably my next favorite, just because of the consistency that we're seeing whenever we're seeing bullets. And you can see a lot of the feedback from people using the Summit with how accurate the rounds that they're loading with it are.
Nice. Yeah.
I love the Summit.
Me too. It's so easy to work on, especially with that and the Matchmaster dice paired with it. That's a killer combo.
This is probably stupid, but like other presses to me have a little, I don't know if it's give, that's not the right word, but like the reason I really like the Summit is it has a very definitive stop. A very definitive, like, okay, that's it. It doesn't matter how much hard I crank down on it, it's going to be the exact same no matter what. And I like that. For me, I like that definitive stop.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you look at like our Rock Chucker, it has a feature on the toggle block also that'll stop that ram stroke. The new Rebel, it has the same thing. So I mean, you're going to get that on the Rebel, the Rock Chucker, the Summit, where it's going to stop. You can't go past that point. So.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I hear you, because I remember the one that I had, man. You would, that stop, it was like a wobble in it.
Yeah, there's
Or
no
it's like
wobble.
a
That
crock.
Summit is solid, and like when you run it, it's like you're at the bottom and you know it. Like a 3-year-old can do it and get to the same consistent space every time.
No.
That's pretty cool.
No wobble, no shaky, no rattle, no move. Yeah, that's perfect.
No rock, no rattle.
Yeah.
So, companies in general are better able to support their customers by integrating with other companies because they can support each other. So RCBS is part of the Vista Outdoor family, which is huge. I didn't realize quite how big until this year when I looking at the booth. I guess I've seen it, but didn't really pay attention to how big it is. It's huge.
The booth has a zip code of its own.
Yeah, it's like when I went to it, I was like, oh my God, I can't even find the Hoppies counter in here. It was like, because there's so much to it. It's like a huge store almost at that booth. But can you tell us a little bit about Vista and some of the other brands and how that all works?
Yeah, so the full Vista Corporation, I think there's 50 some brands under the umbrella. So I mean, we have everything from Federal to CCI, Spear, Alliant Powder, Primos, Hoppies, Champion, Butler Creek, Weaver Rings and Bases, Bushnell Scopes, Camp Chef, Camelback, a lot of brands that everybody has familiarity with. So, I mean, that's one of the cool things with Vista. I mean, whenever I was over the Champion brand, we'd work on launching some of the new clay throwers, the new Champion throwers. And one of the things that we were able to do is work with Federal and use their high-speed camera so we could find the perfect launch angle on the throwing arm for the workhorse trap. So, I mean, there's a lot of technology that different groups can leverage between the different companies to be able to come out with the best products for everybody, which is really cool.
It was really neat going to that booth. I mean, it was like a one-stop shop. You could just kind of wander through and find a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those huge ones, yeah, they take up like majority of that whole floor. It's like it's nuts walking in. There's a couple of ones like that are just tied with a bunch of companies. You walk into Savage. Savage has a big one too. I think they share their booth with a lot of folks too. But we had a giveaway here last week. We had a Kneeling Made Perfect on. They were kind enough and generous enough to do a giveaway for their hat and other. I don't know if there was something else regarding there, but we also have a giveaway announcement with RCBS since we have Will on, and they're throwing in something for you guys to win. So, Greg, tell us who won and what's the new giveaway.
All right. Let me go ahead and pin my
Swanee would comment.
Of course. He's pretty much our number one fan on the show. Let's be for real. All right.
I mean, he only wins if he shaved that beard, right? For the be
Look,
sanitary.
he said he was going to do it, and I was like, is he being sarcastic or is he really going to do it? Because I don't think I'd recognize him.
Oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't. If he didn't look like a gnome, I'd be like, who's that guy? All right. So anyway, we had 8 people enter. You can see my beautiful art here, 1 through 8, and we're just going to generate a number now. Number 2 is our winner.
There we go.
Eduardo. We will I'll shoot you a message on Facebook, or you shoot the Shooter's Mindset a message, and we'll get that shipped out to you.
Boom. Congrats, man. So what's the giveaway, Will, for RCBS? We're doing some swag pack, a hat. What we got?
Yes, we've got a hat. I think we've got a shirt, some stickers, and I think we can probably find one of these RCBS scope covers. We gave those away at the grind, but I think we still have a few of those left. So I mean, they're sized perfectly for the tactical scopes. And if I can't find one in the office, I'll take that one and we'll send it out.
Boom.
Sweet.
We're going to do it the same way, Greg, as we did last week. Just kind of comment or share.
Yeah, we'll do the same thing. It's nice and simple. We'll make a post in a little bit as soon as I can get Facebook to work with me again. And we'll put it up there. You guys just make sure to follow the Shooter's Mindset. Yeah, and comment there, and we'll get it up. We'll put all the rules there.
Yeah, and RCBS too. We'll have them too. We'll figure it out. We'll get the giveaway posts up. Just stay tuned for the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page for that. Those listening on the podcast, join us every Tuesday at 9. Also, you can get away on these giveaways because sometimes by the time we get the podcast up, the giveaway is probably already over sometimes. So you definitely want to watch every Tuesday live with us if you can. Discount corner here. We kind of skipped over that. I don't remember doing it last week. But Jen, you usually start us off with discounts. What do you have?
Yep, you can get 10% off of Carbon Arms at carbonarms.us with the code TSM10 on shotgun shell caddies, ratchet belts, tube extensions, all that good stuff for 3-gun. And you can also get 10% off of jerseys at Under Industries. And you just message them on Facebook and mention the Shooter's Mindset and you'll get 10% off. They have awesome shooting jerseys, hoodies, arm sleeves. They have he can make anything you want, really. So check them out. Veteran owned. So
nice.
Greg, what do you got? Discounts, man. Just remember to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sorry, I was typing. Didn't want to. Code Mindset10 in all caps. It'll save you 10% off of all phone scope products. If you haven't checked them out, look them up online. It's a really awesome product for long range shooting.
Boom. There you go. That's it, man. We're getting short on these, man. Usually it's a long time.
I'm not popular like Jen.
Yeah, I only got like 1 or 2 now, man. I used to have like 20 of them, but umtactical.com, TSM10 save you 10% off. Website wide on their product. A lot of holsters, AR parts and rifles, stuff like that. TSM10, 10% off Tactical. Also, if you go to tacticallife.net, TSM10 save you 10% off their online inventory. A lot of stuff is, the times are kind of crazy, so we are expecting some shortages, I'm sure, throughout the firearms industry. I don't know, house components, man. Are we powders and primers, are those kind of scarce too?
So I mean, I don't handle the right. Yeah, I don't handle powder or primers, but I know they're building as much ammo as they can get out of the factory for what I hear. So
I know all the shelves are empty. We've had the Hodgkin shortage going on for the past
for a while,
however long. So this is obviously not going to help that. You got some other powders out there, like example, Shooter's World powder. You can still get that stuff everywhere. They're still stocked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I know ammo's hard to get by. Some people are doubling and tripling their prices on it.
Hashtag cheaper than dirt. I mean, oops, sorry.
Yeah. I know Tactical Life does have some 9mm as like the hour of this video, probably, but they might not have some tomorrow. So give them a call if you're interested. Pembroke Gun Range does have some, not the cheapest in the world, but it's like people think we're price gouging. No, it's a normal price. No, this is what we charge for it. So we didn't raise it. This is what it is.
What it's always been.
Yeah, what it's always been, sir. It's no price gouging here.
Well, our comments section just went from like 4 comments to like 17 comments. Yes, I see them all, Prentice. Patience, my dear. So Prentice was basically saying hi and then was very upset that we were not saying hi back. So everyone say hello to P Winky from Texas.
Hello.
Hey, are the scores posted for tonight yet?
He asked if we had the scores.
Bread 1, America 0. Toilet paper 1.
So Prentice always at every match, like before the match starts, he asks for scores. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, okay. So does he run a match or do the scoring for a match?
He does. He runs a match in Texas, and then just likes to watch everybody else's scores too. And he shoots.
It's almost like just take your time on purpose, so everybody could just ask, where's the scores? When are you gonna post them? When are you gonna post them? When are the scores coming out? Did I win? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna take my time on purpose now. But even though with the tablets and everybody running that deal now, I used to shoot when it was all paper.
Oh God. I wish my last match was all paper. Dear Lord.
That'd be horrible. That's horrible.
I somehow managed to break the entire practice score and have to go back and manually tabulate all the scores after pulling them out of practice score.
I've never seen that happen. It was interesting.
I'm a highly skilled individual.
Yeah. There you go.
The other squad was like, something's wrong because he got 3 points and each point is supposed to be 10 each, so that should be 30, but it says he got 87. And I'm like, how did it come up with my number?
87.6.
Like,
he got 87.6, and there's 10 10-point targets. I'm like, what did y'all do wrong? I think I figured out what I did wrong. I think that I copied a match instead of, and somehow something got messed up with deleting targets and adding targets or something. So I'm just going to go from scratch every time from here on out.
And the only thing that grinds my gears about the tablets is it's usually on the locals. You see this, they'll just give it to a dude that has no idea how to run the tablet. Then when you're done shooting you're like, dude, no, I didn't get 2 procedural penalties. That didn't happen, sir. You hit the wrong button. You need to give this to somebody else. And then they're like, oh, reshoot or something like that. I'm like, dude, these guys should not be touching the tablets.
I don't know. The biggest thing that grinds my gears with tablets is when you go in a practice score and you're like, this individual has edited scores. And he won the match.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Oh, but yeah, so that's when the good old-fashioned handwritten on a paper, or hell, we written them on like yellow notepads at one point, scores. And those are usually a little bit more efficient. But hey, sometimes, at least. But Will, what is the perfect reloading process for a precision rifle, and what product would you recommend for this?
I mean, you can ask 10 different people, and you're going to get 10 different answers on the perfect procedure for it. I mean, really, the key is consistency, using high-quality components, and making sure that you have your load dialed in for your particular rifle. And you can go online, and people will read. You'll read 10 different loads for the same bullet, and you can trust the online loads about as far as you can shoot them. Really, to me, the perfect thing is you have to work that load up for your rifle and take it slow. I mean, the perfect tool you need for the job. I mean, you need a good pair of calipers to make sure all your measurements are good. I mean, your cheap Harbor Freight ones might work if you need something to get you by until you can get a good pair. But I mean, a good set of calipers.
My whole reloading setup was all Harbor Freight, like the table, the drill, which was absolute shit, but I was able to install it. Like the calibers, the whole, it was like Pittsburgh or whatever, like their brand.
Right.
It did work, but I won't say it wasn't the most efficient tools, but I was able to get by with it. You know what I mean? Yep. But if you're gonna do this, do it. Spend a little dough.
Right. I mean, back when I started doing the precision shooting back in 2011, 2012, I mean, people were still really, really cheap, and they hadn't really caught on to the buy once, cry once mentality. But hell, over the last 8-9 years, people are willing to spend the money and get the equipment that they want because they've seen tons of people make the mistake of spending $1,000 on stuff that they don't need or want, and they end up selling that for pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
That sounds like me. Like you just pretty much described my whole reloading.
I did the
venture.
same thing. So I mean,
Yeah.
I've done the same thing and bought
People-
things that.
People told me, "Hey, you're gonna buy this. Don't even bother. Just go ahead and buy this." And I was like,
Yep.
"Nah, I can get this for $200. I'm gonna learn on it," which was a good kind of chain of thought, right?
Right.
And
It makes sense. It's logical.
I learned on it. I bought the cheapest stuff. I actually did, like I said, I trusted my rounds, every one of them. But man, was the press a problem? Like I was lucky to get through 500 rounds and something. A primer would get caught underneath the disc, the rotating disc, and then you had to pull the whole thing out, and then powder will fall from the case, and then you had a big mess. Eventually, I just I got tired of maintaining this press, and I just tossed it. You know what I mean? And that was my reloading. I had that thing for 2 seasons, and then I never kind of got back into the reloading thing.
Sure, and I mean, a lot of that opening price point stuff will work, and people get loaded rounds off of it, but they don't take into account the time that they're going to put learning how to use it, how to set it up properly, and I mean, there's a big learning curve on a lot of equipment to get it up and running. I mean, you can start with the best stuff you can buy, and I mean, you can start loading really quick, and it's easy to set up, and it's intuitive, and it's easy to call technical services or customer service, and they can walk you through the process. And if anybody ever has any RCBS equipment, has a problem, they just call our 1-800 number, talk to one of our customer service folks or tech service people, and they get them set up on that phone call.
Yeah,
Nice.
and they're definitely knowledgeable, really smart people. You're not getting like Pam in India. You're getting, it sounded like somebody that loads ammo in their house every week. I called them 2 weeks ago, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, our customer service team, I think they're the best customer service team in the industry. I mean, they take care of the people. If you have a problem, they're going to make it right.
Yeah, they're always. You probably get tons of questions. How do I set up my press? And it was a lot at the time. It's not mounting the press. There's a lot of there's a lot more behind just setting it up on the edge of your reloading bench.
I gotta get mine set up. Can you just send me a little elf to set it all up?
Yeah, right.
I don't think air travel is going to be going here before too long, so I don't know if that'll work.
I wouldn't be too surprised if like someone set up a service. Like, we'll come to your house, deliver your press, set it all up for you 100%. You just got to pay for install and setup. I'm sure people will pay that.
I mean, we've joked around that at a couple of shows. It's like people come to you that really have, they really don't seem like they have any technical aptitude or anything else, no mechanical aptitude. They're like, can you just come set this up for me? Like, I don't know if you'd want to pay our rate for us to come and set it up, but
yeah.
Honestly, I think that a local company could probably do pretty good on that, because I have so many people, and if you have no idea what you're doing and you're not overly mechanical, like running a press isn't hard. Making sure those measurements are the same isn't hard.
It's not hard.
Setting up the press, figuring out how much, getting your powder set, getting your seating depth set. And
like me, it takes me a bit to learn it. Like when I was learning reloading, I would go over there and he would show me some things, and I'd be like, okay, stop. My brain is full. You have to wait until the next time to teach me more, because I want to make sure I retain that. It didn't come super easy to me. Like I had to like see it and play with it and think it through and understand why and how it works and all that. So it took a bit of time. I'm not mechanically inclined.
And some people don't want to deal with it. They just want to pay somebody, get it over with, so there's no headache, and that's it. There's those folks too.
Yeah,
I would say reloading is really one of those things where you learn by doing, and finding a good mentor that can show you the process. We've got over 120 videos on YouTube for RCBS that goes through every little detail of reloading if you want to spend the time to go through it. So it's the information's out there. You just have to put in the time to find it and really learn the process. But once you figure it out, it's relaxing. It's something you can do in your free time, and you get really cool benefits when you're done with it. You get really good loaded ammo.
Hey, so we've been trying to do this new segment on like the weekly meme for the show, and there's tons of good ones out. I mean, for the last few weeks, there's been some great ones out. That's one that I threw up as an idea.
Yep. So this is the one that Anthony found. Hand sanitizer and toilet paper or ammo. Me.
Yeah.
Ammo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a customer send us one. I mean, he sent us a set of dies that he stuck a case in for us to remove. And he sent something similar to that. It's like, I think I don't need any. I think one little squirt of case lube will be fine. Oh, it's starting to stick. Do I keep running it? Do I keep running it up? Oh,
Yeah.
it's stuck.
Yeah.
That is funny.
I've had that issue too, man. And I tried everything to get it out. It was like, nope, you know what? I just send it back, and they were good about it. Greg, you also had one more. Which one? That one was funny too.
Let me see. I'm having my computer being screwed right now.
Somebody was posting on Facebook and said something about when all the food runs out, we'll hit the rural areas for their food. And the other person said, "Are you crazy? Those people argue over which gun is best in the truck."
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That one was funny. I like this one personally. Neighbor's house got TP'd last night. Now it's listed on Zillow for $12.5 million.
Nice. Yeah.
I chuckled pretty hard when I saw that one.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I still don't. I think I asked the wife on what's the deal with the toilet paper. She told me, and I still don't get it. Like it just went in one ear and out the other.
I don't
and
get it
still-
either.
I still don't. I
It's a
still don't
respiratory
understand.
infection. That makes you poop a lot, right, nurse?
No.
Hold on. So
It's so
I'm,
weird.
I'm a very amateur meme maker. So I made a meme last week, and I thought that it was the greatest meme ever, and nobody liked my meme.
Nobody liked me. Yeah.
Nobody liked my meme. I thought that I had like the genius greatest meme on the internet, like was gonna like go viral. Yeah, no. I thought it was funny. Lightly used, we'll trade for 16 pounds of Argot.
Yeah.
I'm sure at this point in time we might be able to find someone. Legit, someone let me know. I will trade you 4 rolls of TP for 16 pounds of Argot.
There
Mhm.
are people that are legit out of toilet paper. It's pretty bad.
My brother was
I
down
mean-
to like a quarter of a roll up in Ohio.
Oh, I mean, to me, I think one of the most funny ones, like the Taco Bell burrito or the Chipotle during a toilet paper shortage, will give you a little bit of an adrenaline rush.
So here's the bad thing. When I was trying to get some meat the other day, all they had was ground beef. And the only thing I know how to make with ground beef is tacos.
Yeah.
So I'm about to live the rest of the week off of tacos.
There was one
Hey.
meme that had a guy like in a grocery store at Walmart, and he had on like gray sweatpants, and it had like a soccer ball sized
Oh,
crap stain on the back of it, and it said, "This is our first casualty to the toilet paper shortage."
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw that one pass out.
Awful.
All right. Well, so the Match Master powder dispenser is one of RCBS's biggest hits lately. Tell us what sets it apart from other powder dispensers.
yeah. So I mean,
You kind of hit on it a little bit.
sure. I mean, one of the coolest things with, like I said, one of the coolest things that ability to go down to 400ths of a grain in match mode, and then also have the standard mode where we'll throw to 1/10 of a grain, but faster than match mode. We did a lot of time in the those dual tubes. So if you look at one of the units, you can see the dual tubes. So you got the bigger tube that'll dump a larger charge of powder than the small tube that'll trickle up really slowly to hit that target weight. I mean, it's really simple to move between powder types. I mean, you can literally just change the settings, just choose your different your powder speed and just change it out, so you don't have to mess with programming the unit to get the powder flowing right and everything else. I mean, once you have your custom settings made, if you want to put in that time to find them, I mean, you're going to be able to really throw match grade rounds and accurate rounds, 400ths of a grain, really, really fast.
Boom. Jen, you get any live gathered up, or we're still good?
I'm trying to go through them. Facebook is being dumb, and it's very difficult tonight to see them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I think because everyone's on Facebook.
Yeah, I think it is being dumb. I had to do it took me a while just to get logged on today.
Somebody's asking, so the Rebel, is it just a bigger Rock Chucker Supreme?
I mean, so if you compare the Rebel to the Rock Chucker Supreme, it's 22% heavier. It's got that much more material. I mean, it's still an O-frame single stage press. It's kind of like the beefed up, bigger Rock Chucker. I mean, if you look at the opening on the Rebel versus the Rock Chucker, there is a bigger opening, so there's a little bit more room to get your hands in there and mess with the case and seeing a bullet. We took off the on press priming. Some of the feedback that we got, a lot of it is the folks don't really use the on press priming that we have on the Rock Chucker. So we just saved an op so we could keep cost down a little bit on that by removing that. A lot of folks are hand priming with a hand priming tool or using a bench mounted priming tool to seat their primers. And then the other thing that we did that's kind of different with it, a lot of feedback on the Rock Chucker with the primer catcher on it. Primers would go everywhere. So we actually just drilled a hole in the bottom of the ram. So you can just put your trash can or receptacle underneath the press and your primers will go directly into your trash can. So you don't have to mess with emptying out a primer catch once it fills up. Just put your trash can underneath it, which most of us have a trash can right close to the press anyway. For stuff happens, you got to throw stuff away. So super simple just to put that underneath the press and go to work.
Any more live before we move on here?
Lots of people saying, hey, lots of people saying RCBS is a great company. Mike Bell says that if you can't set up a press, you shouldn't be reloading. Probably a lot of truth to that, Mike.
Yep.
Eduardo wants to know, how's the summit feedback in the community? Not the conventional, but the summit. I think it's been good from what I've seen. I don't know what you have seen.
Yeah, I mean, so the summit press, we really started pushing that, getting it out to people. I mean, it's been out in the market for 6 or 7 years. I think we launched it in 2014, 2013. And I mean, it was a good seller, but I mean, we just really didn't have the penetration in the market. We knew we had a really good press there. So we started going to the Gap grind and actually have a demo table at the grind. So I mean, those 500 shooters coming through, they can come and put their hands on the press, try it out. And I mean, last year we sold more of them than we had in the past 3 years, just from getting those hands on the people, getting that feedback.
So funny story. I was at the Gap grind and I was walking around up there, and then there's this press. I was like, well, that looks funny. And then the guy's like, yeah, man, this fellow named Brian Sykes uses it all the time, and he shoots real good with it, and blah 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 blah. And then now it's there. So
yep.
That was definitely good marketing there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Brian uses one. I mean, in his room, I think he's got 3 or 4 of them. I know one of them, I forget what caliber, I think it's a 6th Creed, but he's getting 0.000 run out. And he's like, dude, I just super glued that die in there. I'm not taking it out. Can you send me a new one? So I'm not going to touch that die because it's perfect. And I mean, yeah, I mean, we would really hold the quality on those really tight. I mean, that ram is a solid 2-inch steel ram. I mean, it's heavy duty, and I mean, it's a great press.
It was great.
Watching him try and pulling off of the prize table and about falling over picking up the box.
Yeah. The finale, I got the summit, and I about creamed some people trying to get there too.
No
Nice.
It looked like Black Friday at Walmart. I was like, no, there's one press left.
No, it was much better than Black Friday at Walmart because there was a bar halfway down the line to the prize table.
That was all I wanted. I was like, my goal is to get a summit. I just want to get one of those because I didn't have a press at all. So I was super excited to get it. But on that note, I was going to say, with y'all having all that set up at Gap Grind was great. Because everybody could go and play with. I know it made a big deal to me because that's what made me want a summit instead of just
sure.
I went from I want a press to I want a summit. That's what I wanted. Part of it was because the handle, the table, the bench that I have has drawers, and I don't want my handle way down low where I can't open my drawers. So to me, it was a big deal from the way the handle is on that. The entire press does not drop below the level of the table, and I liked that. So it was great for people to be able to touch it and put their hands on it and play with it, run it. But I think it's great how much y'all support the shooting sports, because I know y'all are there all the time. I have more green bags at my house right now because y'all sponsor matches and y'all are out there talking with people and getting your product out there. And I think that's huge. And I think people really respond to that you're supporting the shooting sports. And I know a lot of people want to buy RCBS for that reason. So just thank you for the support that y'all give.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of those things that, I mean, it's big for us to go out there and see how people are using our product, get that feedback from people, because, I mean, we can sit in an office all day and we're not going to get the same feedback that we would as being at matches and talking to people at trade shows and everything else. I mean, a lot of product development goes on going to matches and just talking to people and getting that feedback. So, I mean, going to the users that are really, really pushing those things and using the equipment helps in that whole product development.
Yeah, definitely.
As far as rifle reloading goes, I can't think of anybody else that pushes that harder than PRS shooters or NRL shooters.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially when you got guys that are going to matches every weekend and they're loading 200, 250 round precision rifle rounds. And that's a lot of time on a bench.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the guys at work who's a older competitive shooter and, doing the bench rest type stuff and silhouette and this and that and the other thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm starting to load rifle rounds. He's like, oh, that's cool. He was like, yeah, got to load about 300 for this weekend. He's like, you have to load what? Yeah, 300, 100 per train up day and 200 for the match. He's like, that'll take 7 years. Not with good equipment.
Right?
Somebody has a question
Exactly.
on here. Chad wants to know, the RCBS gold seating die, can one die be used for multiple calibers with the appropriate bushings?
So like the gold medal dies, we actually replaced those with the Matchmaster dies, and the little sliding stem inside of those is cartridge specific. So I mean, like the 6mm Creedmoors for the 6mm Creedmoor, the 6GTs specially made for the 6GT. If they're a Wildcat based off of one of those cartridges, you could technically use a neck bushing to bring them down. But like that little sliding sleeve in there is cartridge specific.
Oh, the sliding sleeve, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Anything else on the law side? No, we're good.
I think we're good.
Greg, you had one, right? You had number 8, right?
Sure. So what other new products have you guys, we know about the Matchmaster. What else have you guys released recently that's awesome, or what other new secret things can you tell us about, if any?
Yeah, so the Matchmaster dispenser, Matchmaster dies. So we launched the Matchmaster dies in July. Those replaced the gold medal and competition line. We had a lot of confusion at the trade shows and just in general, where people were confused on what die from RCBS was the best die out there. Was it the gold medal die? Was it the competition die? At the same time, we wanted to make it easier for consumers to know what dies and just come out with the best die that we had. So we discontinued the gold medal and the competition dies and launched the Matchmaster dies. So the Matchmaster dies, I wish I had the sets with me on the table, but they have there you go. You've got a set right there.
Sorry, we got you. We got you. Here.
They've got it. So
Here, Jen, I have my seating die. Jen, you grab so here's the seating die.
Yep. So if you look at the, that seating die, what we've done is, we redid that whole micrometer on the top. We've got a new laser engraver in RCBS that's doing the engraving on those spindles. So it's a lot clearer than the old machined and kind of hand painted white ones. It's a lot sharper. Gives us the ability to go and just make those lines and graduations a lot better. On the sizing die, if you look inside on the expander on the sizing die,
your sizing die. Mine's in a press right now.
He's got every sizing die there, just Jen.
Yeah. So if you look on Jen's die, there's kind of that copper colored expander. So we went through and did a lot of different testing on some different coatings, and the carbonitride coating that we picked out on that one reduces force going over that expander by 15%. So there's less force required to run your case over that, which is kind of cool. Helps reduce a lot of the just kind of that extra force required to go through and size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are absolutely awesome dies. That was another one of the things that, or actually, no, it wasn't then. It was Precision Rifle Expo, I think, is when I fell in love with these.
Okay.
I think I saw them there. That was were they? How long have these been out? Were these there 2 years ago or 1 year ago?
So we launched those in this last July. Those are probably the gold medal dies.
Yeah, that's what it is. So Turner bought the gold medal, and then I played with these that year and liked it, and then the match were the match masters there last year? I don't remember.
Yeah, we weren't there this last year, but I mean, there's a funny story about that the Precision Rifle Expo the first year, and we went down there and we were in the 130-degree oven,
Oh,
and a guy came through, and I mean, we had the summit there with the gold medal dies, and we were telling him, hey man, these are super accurate. You're going to get 001, 000 run out, hardly any run out. The guy's like, oh, you're so full of crap. Let me take like 3 of these, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow and call you a liar. His buddy's like, oh yeah, he'll do it too. He's gonna go home and measure these, and that was in the morning of the first day. The next day he came back, his buddy like ran up. He's like, man, I can't wait to see his face whenever he has to tell you all that he has to eat crow. He came up, he's like, man, you weren't joking. I took these were in my pocket all day. Went home and run out was measured 001. I have to apologize. And then somebody was with us piped off. It's like, yeah, it probably would have been 000 if they weren't in your pocket all day too. And he's like, yeah, probably. So just kind of one of those funny stories. And I mean, that's the type of feedback we get all the time is people really love our equipment and the results they get.
Brandon Hembry wants to know, can you reprogram the Matchmaster like the old Charge Master?
So there's a little bit different steps. I mean, it's easy to me. I think it's easier to reprogram the Matchmaster than the old Charge Master. There's a video that we released it's about 20 minutes long, so it's kind of in depth on what each different program on the Matchmaster goes through and what it controls. But I mean, it is super simple to redo that.
Yeah, so the answer is yes to that one. How was it having the king himself, Robert Brantley, over at the RCBS headquarters?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. So I mean, it's always good whenever you get with Robert. I mean, he's a great shooter, great individual. I mean, always makes it a good time, and it was really nice to have him there at the factory, seeing everybody interacting, kind of seeing how things were done, and I mean, just talking to all the folks on the floor, and quite a few questions for him that came up. And I mean, it's just because it's one of those things where I mean, anytime that you get Robert there, you're gonna have a good time, and you're gonna learn a lot.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Did he bring his guitar?
He did not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the King of 2 Mile stuff is coming up though, right? I think that match is about to go down, or did it go down, or there was practice for it
I
or
think
something.
it's later I think the King is later in the season because they have to qualify for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
so
know one time they were talking about going to France, which I think was May, but who knows if that is even going to happen.
Yeah, that might not happen.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple of shout outs for RCBS on here. So Chad Lowry says, RCBS makes the best reloading equipment, has the absolute best customer service, bar none. Enjoy all of the RCBS gear. That's all. Eduardo says that the RCBS automatic bench primer is clutch, consistent primer seating, and fly through batches.
I wonder, is that the Eduardo that just won the
It is
giveaway? Dude,
Nice.
congrats on that.
Eduardo, even my Facebook is broken, so shoot us a message.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody wants to know, does RCBS have plans to have a new progressive press for the pistol shooters?
Hey.
Yeah, so we released the Pro Chucker 7 and Pro Chucker 5. I think that one was about 3 years ago. And usually the life cycle on presses and things is pretty long. I mean, the Pro Chucker 7 was the first 7-stage press in the market. So, I mean, it has the ability so you can run your powder cop die and a bullet seating die and crimp on. I mean, there's so many stations on it that you can do pretty much anything you wanted. I mean, to me, that press is very smooth. And I mean, once you get it set up, it runs really well. So, I mean, right now it's not really on our horizon to come out with a new one just because those are relatively new for us in that life cycle.
There you go.
Sweet.
Any more?
That's pretty good for the live. Let's see. I'm getting there. So actually, Greg is who actually recently found this out. That RCBS makes custom die components. Like if the seating stem does not sit correctly on the ogive of your projectile, you can send 3 bullets in and have a custom seating stem made. That's a very cool service that none of us knew about. So do you guys have any other neat little services that maybe the public doesn't know about, but they could take advantage of?
I mean, that one's really the one that we've got right now. So we used to do a bunch of special order dies 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, that process was, I mean, it was really hard to handle. So that process went away a few years ago. We are looking at starting something back up with that. Just we have to figure out how we can manufacture it and meet customers' time requirements, because a lot of those dies were 8, 9, 10, 12-month order times. It took us a long time to get through them. So we're kind of looking at kind of reevaluating how we can go through and offer a service like that in the future. But right now, the custom seating sims are about what we've got.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's definitely an awesome thing that I had no clue on, because I was having some issues with my seating depths where it just wasn't overly consistent. And I called y'all's awesome technical support line, and they were like, well, there's a chance that this die just doesn't sit perfectly on your bullet's ogive, because every bullet varies in shape. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. And she's like, yeah, well, so the good news is all you got to do, you take 3 bullets, send them in. She said it was like $25 or $30, and like that's nothing when it comes to anything involving precision rifle.
Yeah.
They'd make the custom seating stem that'll work perfectly and increase my consistency. So definitely going to give that a try.
Right, and that's the challenge with bullets. I mean, everybody's constantly changing bullet design and everything else. It's hard to make a seating stem that matches every single profile out there. So if you are having problems with it, that's the one recommendation I would make, is get a custom stem made for the exact bullet you're using. But I mean, we do constantly test bullets and ogives and everything else to make sure that they're going to fit the widest variety of bullets out there and get those consistent results.
Yeah, I'm always unique and weird and using something different than everybody else. So
yeah, there you go.
It's one of the fun things with reloading is you're able to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we head out in the shout outs here, if anybody wants more information regarding RCBS products, where can we get a hold of you, and what's the website?
Sure. So rcbs.com is the website. We've also got the Facebook page, the YouTube. I can get our customers. I mean, we've got a 1-800 number on the website. So if you got problems, issues, you can call that technical service. I think right now there's folks taking calls Monday through Thursday. They're on California time, so don't necessarily always match up with East Coast time, but there are folks there. Then if you have a question that you can shoot them an email. I think it's technical service at vistaoutdoor.com, something. I can look it up real quick. Hold on one second. Here.
There we go. If we don't have any more live, we'll get that clarification. If we don't have any more live, we can kind of wrap it up to shout outs. Jen, any live?
I did not see any more live. I think we got them all.
Yep. So the technical service for RCBS is rcbs.tech@vistaoutdoor.com.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, and that's a good. I mean, I was dealing. It kind of brings a story to mind that I ran into, or a problem that I ran into with. I was dealing with a dude's Colt. Okay, and he's like, "Well, show me around this gun." And for some reason, the slide to frame completely locked up. All right, and I did not want to take a hammer to this dude's $1,300 Colt in front of him, right? So I'm like, all right, let's just call the customer service of Colt. All right, we'll figure it out that way. And I could not get through to these folks. Okay, it was customer service, like leave a message, visit our website, go to our frequently asked questions, and I'm like, dude, we're doing this on the fly. I don't have time to send an email to you. You know what I'm right now. So yeah, that was and I'm don't want to bash that company, but we did get it fixed for him. I did have to we did have to take a little slight little hammer, give it a little tap. I just didn't want to do it in front of this dude. It's just gonna think I'm nuts doing that. But it would just have to look at a little tap, and the whole thing came apart. But yeah, customer service is important, man. You got to be available, and if you can get a live person, then not Pam from India.
Yeah, a
Absolutely.
live person is like golden to have, because oh man, the worst is when you keep getting the automated thing and you're like, I want a human, give me a human.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
Dude a shot show on, they kind of screwed me a little bit, and so I was trying to call and get it fixed back because I was not happy, and I couldn't get a human. It took me like 15 minutes to get a human, and then I got hung up on.
Nice.
Yep.
Never any fun.
That's fun.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing with our folks in Orville that do the customer services, and they've been doing it a while. They care about our customers, and I mean, if they keep getting a bunch of calls on something, I'm the first one to hear about it.
Yeah.
If they get more than 1 or 2 calls, they're picking up the phone and going, "Hey, we might have something here that needs looked at, a little bit deeper evaluation." And I mean, they care about the product, they care about the customer, and they want to make sure that they're taken care of. And I mean, we've got limited lifetime warranty on all the machine products. So if you have a press that's 20 years old, we probably have a part for it if it's broken. So
Nice. Yeah, that's good to hear too, because some people are still running that older equipment. And you play with some gun manufacturers and you have an old model, they don't make no parts for it. Now, some companies are great enough to send you that updated model of the product, but sometimes find your 20-year-old press, you might not find any parts around. The company doesn't even have it. So
sure. I mean, there's some stuff. Yeah, there's some stuff we think we don't have parts for, but and for the most part, if there's an issue with something, we'll take care of it and get them taken care of. So
That's awesome, though, that you connect with the customer service and that they give you that feedback so that you can improve things. I mean, I know for me, I never expect any company to be perfect. When you're innovating things, you're going to have things that don't work right, but it's how they respond to it. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
It's like we do a thing at work where literally every morning at 9 a.m. we get our entire quality department together and they go through every customer complaint that was received the day before and graph it and chart it and RCAs, and it's a lot of work, but that's what being a good company, providing good customer service and keeping your customers happy is all about, is just making sure that everybody's getting good stuff, making sure all your customers are happy.
Yeah, agreed. Hey, before we wind this down to shout outs, I can't help but notice Will is wearing full on ear protection through the entire show. I know these are Bluetooth ears, but he is ready for the apocalypse that supposedly might be coming. I geared up on some Hornady Zombie Max. This stuff has been continued for I think a couple of years now. But I recently got like 80 rounds of it. I know, Greg, you have some probably because it's green tip.
Yep. Hold on, where it is.
Yeah. So, oh man.
Here we go. Got a couple boxes of it.
Yeah, you can't even sit in a restaurant nowadays, and I need it anymore. So that's where we are. But we're gonna wind it down here to shout outs here. Jen, if you want to start us off, what do you got?
Sure. Shout out to Prime Ammunition, McMillan Stocks, Night Force Optics, GSL Suppressors, HD Gold, Vortec Cleaning Rods and Cleaning Solutions, Warren Scope Mounts and Bipods, Under Industries for great jerseys, Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta, possibly one of the only places still open in my area, and Spartan Precision for awesome gunsmithing.
Yeah, Greg, what do you got, man?
I also have Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta. Not only are they open, but they have ammunition in stock.
What?
They're, I think they're selling only to range customers right now.
Okay.
But they have tons of ammo still in stock. PDC Custom, green St. Patrick's Day, beautiful rifle chassis right there. That's my CZ 457 right there. Have one equally as beautiful on my 6.5. NDZ Performance, who also makes green parts. You could build a really sweet Gucci Glock, all sorts of other cool stuff there. Bone Scope, probably my favorite long-range training aid / way to be super lit for the gram. Shooter's World Propellant, again, still got tons of it in stock at the warehouse. so they're not experiencing any sort of powder shortage yet. Hunter's HD Gold. It's kind of like HD lenses while you're shooting. Vortec, like the only thing I say is, wow, that's some good stuff. Like rifles is so nice with that. I love it.
There you go. Will, what do you have? Shout outs, man.
I mean, shout out to all our guys out in California that make RCBS run day to day. Couldn't do without you guys. Working on building building the GT 6GT here. So, I mean, the guys at Defiance helped me with an action. Bartline helped with barrels. Maynard's working on stock, and GA is going to put it together for me. So
sweet. You come shoot some matches?
Oh, absolutely. Whenever this stuff kind of blows over, I think so. That's the plan.
Yeah, a couple of matches have gotten postponed, so we'll see what happens with the season this year.
It's crazy, man. Wow, it's crazy, man. Crazy how this is coming out. Shout out to my end. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're watching on the YouTube side of things. Right below the video, see a yellow button. That'll subscribe you to the Shooter's Mindset. Every Tuesday at 9 Eastern, we're doing a new show featuring a great company or guest. If you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is a good way to do that. Thanks to Will for coming on and sharing some of his knowledge on RCBS. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Lastly here, the folks over at Tandem Cross, GSL suppressors, man. We're talking to them. Probably got something in the works with them. Some good things coming. And Nate Square Tactical for your concealment holster. Tons of people are buying guns. A lot of people are just buying guns because they just want one. They have no idea what they're buying, how to shoot, anything like that. I experienced that all day yesterday. I sold 21 guns. That is a record for me. My previous record was 7 guns in one day. I sold 21 guns yesterday. It was
I hope you sold some classes with that.
I did do that. But a lot of people just wanted to buy a gun to have a gun. Just in case the zombies come knocking.
I'm ready to snipe some eyeballs with this awesome 457.
Right. So there you go. I do recommend you do learn how to shoot that thing. But it is kind of a good thing in itself to see people actually purchasing a firearm. So there's two sides of that. We can argue that all day, I'm sure. But that'll do it for episode 280. What we're at 288 now, almost to 300 here of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We'll see you on the next one.